Good evening. Welcome. Been gone for a while. Back now for a bit. The reason I've been gone is uh, my grandmother, like a lot of your grandmothers, used to say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Well, I sometimes you just have to smile and nod, and I've been doing a lot of that lately. Um, the other thing is, do you really need one more guy on the YouTube telling you uh, that we're spiraling in, that we are going through a fundamental transformation in this country? Probably not, since there are a lot of people who are better funded, better financed than I. Am I wearing suspenders? Yes, I am. When you hit a certain age, a belt doesn't always do the job anymore. And I used to laugh at people that wore a belt and suspenders at the same time. Now I understand why they do. So, anyway, today I want to talk just a little bit about moving the ball forward. And by that I mean, what are you doing every day that doesn't involve sitting in front of your computer screen or farting around on your phone, that advances your position, that advances your position of health, wealth, security, stability, um, the thoughts and prayers mentality, that the idea that you're doing something because you're clicking thumbs up on social media posts, probably not in that advancing the ball category. So what have I been doing? Well, one thing I have to acknowledge, part of a very, very short list of things that got better as a result of this COVID lockdown. My wife actually said, I wish you'd quit saying lockdown. It's not a lockdown. I said, really? Ask the people who own the theaters that haven't been open for a year, or the folks that couldn't run their bars or restaurants for several months. We're coming up on a year's anniversary of the 2 weeks to flatten the curve emergency order, right? I was sitting in Steve's Pizza having a Guinness on St. Patrick's Day, the day the governor decided to issue an order closing everything down. They closed at 5 o'clock at Steve's Pizza. And I raised my glass before I left, toasted Governor Evers, saying that he could kiss my white Norwegian ass. And he still can. Offer's still there. Anyway, you can stress on that, you can worry about it, but the fact is, what are you doing? If you're spending more time worrying about what's happening 1,000 miles from you than you are worrying about what's happening 1,000 yards from you, then maybe you need to adjust your priorities. In my case, one of the positive things that came out of this COVID thing is that my two oldest grandkids live about 100 miles away, and I would see them maybe 3 times a year. And because of the COVID, because my wife and I are taking turns going once a week and spending a day, we're one of about a half dozen people that spends time with the kids so that their mom and dad can go to work. Now we can do that 2 or 3 times a month instead of 2 or 3 times a year that we get to see them. So I'm actually a part of their growing up, which is amazing. We're all actually, I'm seeing parallels between what we're doing now and the old multi-generational households where you had grandparents, kids, and grandkids all living together, and each had their specific jobs according to what their age and wisdom could do. So that's been going good. I taught my grandkids earlier this fall, showed them how to use a fire extinguisher. Took an old fire extinguisher that I was switching out from my house. I have several, and brought it there, and it was too wet to build a fire, so we designated a tree to be a fire, and then each of them took turns blasting the base of that tree with the fire extinguisher. Good time was had by all. My wife is spending time with them tomorrow, and I think one of the things she'll be teaching them is how to build a campfire, and start it with a single match. And so, life skills, first aid training. We've been doing a lot of wrestling. At that age, 10 and 7, wrestling usually means just jumping on grandpa's back, but It's physical, and you learn by doing it. So that's where that comes from. Been working on the garden. Most of it's up here because it's I know that it's still too early, but my grandpa Olaf would start his garden 2-3 weeks ahead of everybody else, and he lost a lot of bedding plants to frost and things, but every now and then, every few years, he hit it just right, and he was enjoying potatoes and tomatoes and various veggies a couple of weeks ahead of everybody else. And so I guess I kind of inherited that from him. Been working on the range, been doing a lot of training and teaching. My MAG group has been meeting about once a week. This year we learned how to use the GPS programs on our phones. We've downloaded an app called HuntX, which allows us to track where we're going, where we're navigating to. Basic life skills. Yesterday I had to relearn how to arc weld. I had some repair to do on a trailer that I'm sending with my son, and a piece broke and I needed to weld that back in place. I haven't welded in 5 or 6 years, and arc welding is a perishable skill. So learning how to strike an arc again with minimum profanity and stuck electrodes takes time. So had to do 2 bits on the trailer. The first one was hard, took a lot of tries, a lot of failed attempts. Second one, won't win any beauty contest, but I was able to use fire to melt metal, which is a manly thing to do. So that's where it's been going. Haven't been really following what's going on in the university, other than the fact that I miss my students. The adults, for the most part, the system that you're pouring money into, not so much, but I miss being able to get up in front of the classroom and talk to you a few times a week, which I really wasn't able to do a lot even last semester because of the requirement of masks and social distancing. I don't know what's happening there now. I have not gotten the shot. I'm going to let the thousands of guinea pigs that have already taken the vaccination see how things work out for them before I make a final decision. But right now it's an experimental vaccine approved for emergency only, and I'm just not going to play, not going to do that. So that's where that's at. As far as taking care of the house, taking care of the family, we've been working regularly on maintaining our church security team. Church security team has taken off. Every Saturday Mass and the Sunday morning Mass, we have 4 to 5 people whose job it is, in addition to participating in the worship service, we keep our head up while everybody else's head is down. We keep our eyes open while everybody else's eyes are closed. And we have had people volunteering. They've been coming forward saying, teaching me, tell me what I need to do. So we've been starting people off at the skills that they already have, and we've been growing the skills that they are going to need, or could need at some point. Don't need on a daily basis. So that's where that's been going on. Anyway, I wanted to check in, let you know that all is well. Trying to keep track of what's going on in the world right now is it could be an addiction. I think a lot of us are addicted to that, sitting in front of our electronic devices. But I think I've been doing better now that the weather is considerably above zero. I've been doing better at turning off this electronic device and getting outside and doing stuff, dropping some weight, getting in better shape, and advancing the ball. I advise you to do the same. So take care, stay sharp and vigilant, and I will see you next time.